Errol Spence Jr. appears to have rekindled his passion for boxing, recently joining Terence Crawford in the gym as the undefeated champion prepares for his massive showdown against Canelo Alvarez. During the session, Spence told a reporter that he's planning to come back later this year, though he chose not to share any specific details. While the two didn't spar, they spent time together jogging and engaging in strength and conditioning exercises. At one point, they stood in conversation before Spence quietly exited the gym. Their reunion didn't give the impression that
I just had to hear all that for 5 years, really.
Yeah.
So it was a bit frustrating because the people that's on the outside looking in, they didn't have an idea what was really going on. But they was just, making up stuff, and the media and other people that believed them was just going with it.
Yeah.
So once we got the fight over with, it was just like a sign of relief.
And before we go into that photo, Steve.
I haven't talked about that yet.
Okay, let's talk about this. Terence Crawford's a great champion as well.
Yeah.
You're a great champion.
Yeah.
First time you've seen him in a while. What did you guys tell each other tonight?
Nah, he just said something. So I don't know. Let's there for more. I like that. I like that. He best in the business. I like that. He been around this long. Let's there for more. I like that. So he know fight. I like that.
Errol's rematch is on the horizon, especially now that Crawford has moved well beyond the 147-pound division, setting his sights on Canelo at 168. Still, the sight of them training together was enough to spark excitement among fans. Respect to two of the best 147-pounders in history. One supporter commented. Another added, I wouldn't want a Spence versus Crawford rematch anymore, but I want to see Spence return. The loss to Crawford doesn't mean he's done. The guy's still got boxing in him. For now, the rematch may be off the table, but the mutual respect between these two former rivals clearly remains.
I said I would never want to fight him coming off an accident like that, because when I beat him, then y'all gonna say it was because of the accident.
Right.
He fight. He beat Danny Garcia. I was in the crowd. I said, nah, he can't beat me. That's the first time I seen Spence fight live. I said.
So you knew then when you seen that?
I'm like yeah, because it's different on TV than when you watching it up close.
A third fan chimed in, saying, Spence is needed to spice things up in the 154 lb division. We need more action in that division. I hope he's fit enough. Errol Spence Jr. hasn't stepped back into the ring since his tough 2023 defeat at the hands of Terence Crawford. The matchup was initially seen as a true 50-50, but Crawford dominated from start to finish, handing Spence the first loss of his professional career. Spence now holds a record of 28 wins, 1 loss, with 22 knockouts. Recently, Spence took to social media to share a candid reflection about the biggest mistake he's made as an athlete. Worst thing I did to myself was drinking, he wrote. If you're an athlete, focus on the end goal. Hopefully it's a better situation for you and your loved ones.
2025, y'all gotta stop capping on me, man. The only reason I look overweight in that picture is because I had on like 3 sweaters that's cold as fuck in Japan. Like, stop it with this shit, man. I stay fit, man. You did? Yes, sir. And it's not.
The post drew attention, including a reaction from Gervonta Davis, who is currently preparing for his own bout against Lamont Roach, despite his decorated career, which included holding the WBA, WBC, and IBF welterweight titles between 2017 and 2023. Spence's most recent performance sparked a wave of criticism. Some fans questioned whether he still had what it takes to compete at the elite level. That criticism didn't sit well with Spence, who fired back on X, formerly Twitter, writing, "Some of y'all use he washed too loosely. Post y'all mama so you can see what washed really is."
I mean, it could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford wanna challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great, So, what I'm saying, I'm with it. So, I'll be going for Bud. If he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna win or lose, but I definitely be going.
Meanwhile, Terence Crawford stirred up a bit of controversy himself after making comments about his former opponent. Their 2023 clash was a defining moment in Crawford's career, as he delivered a dominant performance over Spence. Since then, Spence has remained inactive, choosing not to exercise his rematch clause. Though still just 34 years old, fans now wait to see who Spence will face in his return, and whether he can remind the boxing world why he was once considered one of the sport's top pound-for-pound fighters.
Unified welterweight champion had the option to invoke a rematch clause against Crawford, but
People say, oh, well, he's money hungry, he's looking at money and he's trying to cash out and this and that. I've been getting money for years. I've been getting millions for years.
Yeah.
And I'm not stupid with my money.
Right.
As you can see, I don't buy no Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and, you know what I mean, walk around with 100 people around me and I got all this jewelry that I ain't bought. Like,
more recently, Errol Spence Jr. was in talks for a potential showdown with WBC and WBO super welterweight champion Sebastian Fundora. But despite initial buzz, the matchup fell through after several delays. As months passed without any confirmation, many fans began to suspect that Spence may not return to the ring at all. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford continued to elevate his legacy. The Omaha native is now set to face Canelo Alvarez this September in one of the most anticipated fights in recent memory. Crawford has never fought beyond the 154-pound limit, but he's now jumping to 168 pounds to take on Canelo in his natural weight class, a huge challenge, but one Crawford is embracing with confidence. When asked about the fight in a recent interview with Fight Hub TV, Spence didn't hesitate to show his support. It could happen. Why not? I mean, if Crawford wants to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great, he said. If he fights Canelo, I'll be going for him.
Definitely, it was exciting. I whole build up to it and leading up to it too. So it's something that I wouldn't change for nothing. And I'm definitely open to the rematch and hopefully be at 154 pounds.
I don't know if he's going to win or lose, but I'll definitely be rooting for Crawford. Spence, having shared the ring with Crawford, knows just how dangerous Bud can be when he's in rhythm. That's why, in his view, if anyone can rise to the occasion and pull off an upset, it's Crawford. He's chasing greatness, so why not? Spence added. He also pointed out that Canelo himself began his career at 147 pounds. Before climbing all the way to light heavyweight, Canelo went up to 175 and fought Kovalev and Bivol, too. He started at 147, so if he did it, why can't Bud? The respect between the two former rivals was evident, something that caught many fans off guard. Their brutal encounter last year didn't sour relations, and Spence's willingness to publicly back Crawford showed.
In the fight, but I just felt like, you know, he came prepared and he was ready and he fought a good fight.
Yeah.
He was awkward, he was patient, he was determined, he stuck to his game plan, and he did what he had to do to make it.
A level of mutual admiration between elite fighters, in another conversation that's been gaining traction across the boxing world. Fans and analysts are debating whether Spence deserves a place in the Boxing Hall of Fame. The discussion heated up after Terence Crawford, during an appearance on the Pound for Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo, touched on the topic. Crawford stated plainly that if he were to retire today, his resume would all but guarantee Hall of Fame status. But when it came to Spence, he wasn't so sure. Crawford explained, "Everything I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish."
We're not thinking about Canelo right now, but I mean, if the fight come across the table, I definitely take that fight. I feel like 165, 168, that's more my natural weight, and it's a lot easier for me to make. So I definitely take that fight.
When asked to elaborate, Crawford began listing off the differences in accolades and titles, implying that while Spence has had a great career, it lacks the same definitive milestones that have marked Crawford's journey after their head-to-head battle. The contrast between the two men's career trajectories is increasingly stark, but their mutual respect, especially from Spence's side, suggests that in boxing, even the fiercest rivalries can end with admiration.
A lot of poise, broke him down, and was able to stop him at the end.
Everybody's wondering what's going on with you and Terence Crawford. This fight going to happen?
I think it's going to happen. We both want to fight. I want to fight. He wants to fight. And, it's going down to negotiations. So I definitely going to get the fight this year. And we're going to score off this year with the biggest fight in boxing.
It is the biggest fight in boxing. Where and when, if you were guessing?
I don't know where. I don't know when. But it's definitely going to be this year.
All right. We look forward to that.
He fought in just one division and never unified the belts. And he wasn't undisputed. He wasn't, Crawford said, trying to justify his statements. But what I'm saying is, they already called him a weight bully, right? He beat Kell Brook coming off a loss and an eye injury. Crawford's remarks sparked immediate backlash across the boxing community, with many fans and analysts accusing him of downplaying Errol Spence Jr.'s accomplishments. Now, former WBO super featherweight champion Jamel Herring has added his voice to the conversation. While Herring made it clear that he has deep respect and admiration for Crawford, he respectfully disagreed with his take on Spence. In his view, Crawford's remarks overlooked the significance of what Spence had actually achieved during his welterweight campaign. "I love Bud, but let's not rewrite history," Herring commented. "Spence was a unified champion in one of boxing's most competitive and storied divisions. That means something." Herring pointed out that unifying titles at 147 pounds is no small feat.
I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off.
Yeah. But no,
He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, he started at 147. So I mean, if he's doing it, why can't?
Especially considering the level of opposition, Spence faced fighters like Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, and Yordenis Ugas. He fought the best guys available, didn't duck anyone, and was champion for years. That deserves respect, whether or not he became undisputed. Herring added. His response echoed the sentiments of many in the boxing world who believe Spence's resume and run at welterweight still place him among the top fighters of his generation. The debate highlights a broader tension in boxing today. What should define greatness? Is it multiple weight divisions, undisputed titles, or consistently beating top contenders? As Crawford moves forward with his historic clash against Canelo Alvarez, it's clear that his legacy is still growing while Spence's place in the sport remains a subject of passionate discussion.